What's going on, people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video I'll be counting down the top 10 base game weapons in Borderlands 3, with every single event able to be activated at any time and the countless buffs to many fan favourite guns. The base game is jam-packed with quality loot more than it's ever been before. These are the strongest guns you can get with no additional purchases, and I'll be letting you know what each gun does, where you can get it, and how you can get it dealing the most damage. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like, and hey, you can always subscribe, and let's crack into it. We open this countdown of the top 10 base game weapons in Borderlands 3 with the Butcher, a Hyperion shotgun that can come in any element and has an increased chance to drop from Raging Titan, the final boss of the Slaughter Shaft, which you can access around here in Conrad's Hold. The Butcher is a fully automatic shotgun that makes up for its lack of pellets with its incredible fire rate, made even better through its unique effect. Holding down that trigger will have you rail off shots, many of which won't cost you ammo, thanks to its high chance to return bullets to your magazine each time you fire. That does a lot to boost its DPS, and you can often go entire mobbing runs without slotting in some extra rounds. You do want to avoid the ×6 variant as it consumes too much ammo for its effect to counter, and a standard Butcher is perfectly powerful enough. Moving on now to the Calcin, a dual SMG that can come in any element including non-elemental, and has an increased chance to drop from Captain Traunt, who you fight at the very end of Athenas, but only if you're on Mayhem 6 or above. And like all Mayhem 6 plus weapons, it can also drop from the Guardian takedown bosses. The Calcin is the #1 explosive dual SMG and is a top tier weapon in its own right. It has multiple ways of bringing the boom. Not only does each round deal great damage, they'll also stick to your target and explode again after a short while, effectively doubling its damage output. Both the initial and secondary damage sources get boosted by splash damage skills, making it especially effective on modes, but anyone can tear it up with this gun. It brings back memories of the time on the farm when you'd ask your father what that animal is. He'd respond with, "It's a cow, son." And now with this gun in your hands, you'll never forget that moment. If you want to deal peak damage, look out for a low mag ×2 variant, which will expend double the ammo but dish out close to twice the amount of damage. And it's a fantastic SMG to pull out in all situations. Up next, it's the Sandhorse, a Mayhem 6 plus dual sniper rifle that only comes elemental, and has an increased chance to drop from Katagawa Jr. You fight here atop of Atlas HQ. The Sandhorse is an incredibly damaging sniper rifle that doesn't leave anything on the table. It fires more projectiles than many shotguns, sitting at 7 per shot, and they stream from its barrel. The multiple pellets and its fire rate combine to make a machine, a gun able to destroy bosses in split seconds. However, there is one glaring thing holding it back, and that's its ammo consumption. It drains ammo almost as fast as it drains health bars, consuming 3 ammo per shot. With the minimal reserve, it'll dry up quickly. In saying that, it is possible to counter. On Zane with his clone ammo regen anointment, you can regen ammo straight back into your magazine so you can fight forever. Moze has plenty of ways to do that too, and everyone can use the Super Soldier or Terror anointments, but just know a bigger mag size will fill it up faster. If you're looking for a base game sniper rifle that ticks all the boxes, then you've found it here. Time now for the Needle Gun, a TDR SMG that belongs to the Cartel event, which can be activated at any time from the main menu. It can come in any element and can drop from Franco Firewall, Josie Bite, and of course Joey Ultraviolet. The Needle Gun isn't a weapon that provides instant feedback, rather it's damage delayed, but there's no denying when it arrives. That's because of its debuff mechanic, which causes every single shot to weaken your enemies, making them take way more damage. When fully debuffed, a particle effect will trigger around them, and each successive shot will return ammo to your magazine, although that effect does have a small cooldown. Its damage ramps up quickly, allowing it to annihilate enemies in short bursts of concentrated fire. Its unique effect makes the ×2 variant the optimal choice, as the extra ammo consumed is often returned free of charge, gifting you more damage with little downsides. Because it debuffs enemies based on shots landed, it's perhaps best on Zane, who can boost its fire rate, but every single Vault Hunter will find a lot of power here. Moving on now to the Hal Walker, Jacob's shotgun that only comes in Incendiary and has an increased chance to drop from Road Dog you fight around here in the Splinterlands. The Hal Walker is the prize in the Jacobs collection. It's your classic double-barreled shotgun crafted from Pandora Oak and forged within the fires of hell. Each shot unleashes 10 searing pellets that crucify your opposition, with each round accompanied by some heavy metal. Because it's made by Jacobs, critical hits are devastating, ricocheting all 10 of its pellets, which cut ribbons into any close-packed groups. Generally, it'll fire just the one round before needing to be fed another, but you can fire twice by equipping items with enough mag size boosts. It's an awesome weapon, especially in Flak's hands, but anyone can use it to blaze a path to redemption. Now for the Rowans Call, an automatic Jacobs assault rifle that can come in fire, shock or radiation, and has an increased chance to drop from Red Rain, a final boss of the Slaughter Star 3000. The Rowans Call is a steadfast AR that's focused on bringing the pain. Unlike other Jacobs assault rifles, it always spawns fully automatic, helping to ease that trigger finger while you unleash the beast. Because it's made by Jacobs, critical hits are your best friend, boosting its damage more than other manufacturers, but it'll also upscale its collateral damage through 2 ricocheting projectiles while also returning bullets to your magazine. That's a big incentive to hit crits, and landing them consistently will not only demolish whatever you're up against, but also completely avoid your need to reload. It's a great weapon for everyone, especially those who want to get maximum bang for their buck. Coming in hot, it's the Monarch, a Vladoff assault rifle that can come in all elemental variations and has an increased chance to drop from Kilovolt you fight around here in Electricity, but only if you're on Mayhem 6 or higher. The Monarch is a brutal multiple pelleted weapon with a nice mag size that fires at a rapid pace. It typically has 4 pellets listed on the card, but you can get a ×8 variant that consumes the extra round but for more single shot damage. It rips through anything and everyone. The amount of pellets it sends forth at the rate it does leaves little chance for your target to survive, and it's perfect across the board, both while mobbing and while bossing. You can even double down on its damage by pulling out the bipod at the cost of your mobility. With it out, your DPS will increase 2-fold, and it's best brought forth in close ranges. There's no end to the damage it can deal, proving that if you shoot a lot of stuff quickly, something's bound to die. Coming up next is the Backburner, an elemental launcher developed by Vladoff that has an increased chance to drop from the Agonizer 9000 at the end of the Guts of Carnivora on Mayhem 6 or higher. The Backburner is even now the game's #1 rocket launcher, firing power-packed projectiles that cause incredible amounts of damage on impact. When they land, it's almost like you've split the atom as Murph grenades rain down, causing boatloads of damage to whatever they fall on. That initial orb is the calm before the storm, transporting the majority of its damage, which will crush the game's toughest bosses. If you're looking for something to make that boss fight a heck of a lot easier, then this is the gun for you, performing at the top of its game on every single Vault Hunter. Now for the OPQ System, a masterfully crafted Atlas weapon that also belongs to the Cartel event, dropping from Josie Bite and Franco Firewall, and of course Joey Ultraviolet. The OPQ System is an all-round damage dealer, firing 2 precision projectiles at a quick pace. It's a gun that is more than the sum of its parts, firing the odd shock round which gives it that splash damage factor. It'll blitz whatever you set your sights on, cutting through them like a bullet through flesh. Because it's non-elemental, it's going to perform great across the board against all health bars, and those explosive shock rounds help it to clear shields even faster. On top of that, its alternate firing mode will have it spawn itself in miniature form, which will target enemies dealing decent damage and making it just that itty bitty bit better. It's a gun that will never let you down. If you want to take down that boss or wipe out that pack of mobs, it'll do it. It's as simple as that. Before number 1 is uncovered, let's go over some honourable mentions. First up is the Plague Bearer, another fantastic base game elemental launcher. This one has an increased chance to drop from the water, and when on Mayhem 6 or above, you fight around here in the anvil. The Plague Bearer consumes 3 ammo per shot, and when fully charged unleashes a large orb circled by smaller rockets. During flight, those circling projectiles will hunt down and disintegrate any enemies in close proximity, backed up with even more when the initial shot lands. It's that effect that makes it one of the best mobbing weapons in the game, allowing you to fire and forget, while it does all the rest. Next up is the Kaib's Worth, the Maliwan SMG which can spawn in any element, and only drops from Wotan, the final boss of the Maliwan takedown. The Kaib's Worth shoots 2 bullets in a linear pattern at the cost of just 1 ammo, but you can even get a binary prefix that fires an extra projectile at the cost of increased ammo consumption. It deals heavy splash damage, allowing it to blow apart enemies, and it also occasionally spawns healing circles wherever they fell. If you want maximum DPS, then try for the binary variant, but the standard one has plenty to get the job done. The last honourable mention I have for you is the Multi-Tap, an Atlas pistol that has an increased chance to drop from Katagawa Ball. You fight around here in Skywell 27, but again only if you're on Mayhem 6 or above. The Multi-Tap, like the Rowans Call, fires at a steady pace but deals heavy damage. Because it's an Atlas pistol, it comes with tracker rounds which you can use to automate its destruction, and will also send out cryo rockets to any tagged enemies whenever you reload. It's not fancy by any means and won't appear in Pandora loot weekly, but that's not to say it isn't capable of defeating tough opponents. Number 1, we're here, we made it, and look at that, there's purple on the horizon. It's the Crit, a unique Maliwan SMG that can only be obtained by heading to Moxie's bar and making it rain. Just throw a few stacks of cash down and she'll send it to you by mail. The Crit isn't a legendary weapon, but it is damn good and much easier to farm for as long as you have the cash. It always comes in shock, has a massive critical damage bonus, but is extremely slippery when wet, so don't use it in the shower. It deals crazy damage at a high speed, boosted by that massive critical buff which sits at 150%. Because it's a Moxie gun, it will also heal you, and thanks to Mayhem scaling, a few bullets is often enough to fully replenish your health. That is a fantastic bonus to have, giving every Bolt Hunter lifesteal and making it incredibly difficult to get downed while you wreak havoc at the same time. If you want it at its most powerful, consider picking up one with a binary prefix, which adds an extra projectile at the cost of 2 ammo per shot. Do remember that it will slip out of your grasp on occasion, sometimes when you least expect it, but that's certainly a small price to pay when you see the power it can unleash. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned of the top 10 base game weapons in Borderlands 3. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.